As you can see, we're starting to get the clusters down inside, the cubes down inside there. I added another half a cup of water to help weight down the material. I'm just pushing it with a wooden stick down inside to make sure that I can get to the blades. I like to use the pulse section of the blender because it just kind of helps keep the material falling down into the feed. You can always add more water. It just depends on what you're doing and how much you're going to put in here. Okay, so once we add the paint and the glue, that's going to weight it down even more, and it's going to chop it up a little more finer than it already is. But what you want to have is basically what I have here. As you can see, it's just broken up into small little chunks, no big cubes in there. A couple pieces in there will get smaller as I put more of the paint in there. Okay, so the next step, we're going to add a tablespoon of PVA or White Elmer's glue. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, I don't know which color I have here. This is the olive color and this is the green that I chose to have for the medium green. Let's see how that turns out here. Okay, as you can see, that's a medium green. Again, I picked these colors out with a color chip at your local hardware paint store. Again, probably about 2 tablespoons. And that's what I have the paper towels out here for. So I can wipe the outside and put the lid back on and not have a hard time getting it back open later on. Now if you want to make the colors darker, you can add black. If you want to make it more drabby looking, you can add burnt umber. I'm going to blend that just a little bit longer. That just a little bit of water to it. Again, most of that water is going to strain out through our strainer bucket. And then we can reuse that paint in the next batch. Okay, so then when we're all done, this is what you're going to have. You've got a beautiful consistency green. Now understand that paint dries a little bit darker once it's got all the water out of it and the moisture out of it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this into our 3-bucket system. Again, I have a bucket for the material, for the fluid to go into. I have the bucket with the strainers that this material is going to go into, which we'll dump in there too now. bit of water to that so we can keep it clean. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and take this top piece and we're going to just press it. And as you'll see, some of it will be coming up on the side here as I press it. And kind of keep pressing it down. Don't want to just push down real quick because it'll spill out the sides. Okay, so we've let this sit a little while to go ahead and drain out as much as we possibly can. Looks like we did a pretty good job there. As I pull this out, okay, there's the paint that I will use again in the bottom of the bucket. What I'll do now is I'll take this and I'm going to dump it out onto some paper laying on top of cardboard. And so this will dry. I'll leave it in its clump form as it dries, as you can see right here. And that'll let it bond together and create its clusters, clump foliage. Now you can also make multiple buckets like this and just leave it in there, and it'll help air dry. You'll just take the top, the bottom part out. Actually, you'll take the top part out that pressed it and leave the bottom part, and that way you can let it air dry that way. All right, I have a couple of samples here. This is my forest green. This is my medium to dark green. As you can see right there, it's all clumped together. These will be used on my layout. I'll show you pictures of that later on once I've installed them. So I hope that this you find this pretty simple, pretty easy. The hardest part for me was the cleanup, having to clean up the paint, clean up the mess, and put stuff back, and that's really not that hard. So I hope you enjoy, and again, I'll be showing some other videos on how to do trees and different types of things that I do on my layout. Thank you very much.